What is up, guys? Thank you for tuning in. As you know, my name is Paul, the SA Badger, and in today's episode, I'm going to be doing a very short review because, well, I picked up two very short figures. They are Loot Crate / Slam Crate exclusive figures. One being Alexa Bliss, and the other one being Sasha Banks. Stay tuned. All right, guys. So here's the box for Sasha Banks. In the front of the cover, obviously, it is portrait picture of Sasha Banks herself. The pink hair, pink makeup, and her top. Has a little bit of rhinestones right here on the picture. Turn it around to the side. You can see she's setting in this ring. And actually, her hand right here comes out with legit on her fingers. I guess it's kind of like a pair of knuckles that say legit. And here's a figure right there. Turn it to the side so you can see. There's a figure right there, and as you can see right here, WWE Slam Stars figure. There's a back of the box right there. These numbers are actually Series 2 Figure 1, as far as what I understand. It's another picture of her inside, a little bit more body right here. And brief description. If you want to pause the video, read that. Basically saying that they decided to make these figures on wrestlers who actually made a very high statement when they debuted. So, anyway, that's Sasha Banks. Here is the Alexa Bliss box, and as you can see, her numbers are 3-1. Obviously, this is Series 3. Color of the top is blue and black. Blonde hair on top, pink hair on the bottom. Turn it around to the side, just like the Sasha Banks. So you see the back side of the figure, Alexa Bliss. And again, right here, a little bit more upper torso. You can see same print in the back as the Sasha Banks one right here. Oh, same thing, has her hand, just like in the Sasha Banks. There's a figure in the ring itself, and the top of the box. Okay, and that's Alexa Bliss. Okay, guys, so the contents of both boxes actually come with this quarter of a ring. These actually, the ring posts here, they actually come together. You just rip them apart, post them right here. The ring ropes are 3 plastic pieces. They each got pegs in each one of these. Now, it also comes with this as well. It's kind of a basic because they actually lock in like that. Let me get the other piece. Okay, so this locks in right there. Okay, there it goes. And the ring posts, well, they clamp together. Let me see if I can get it for y'all. There it goes. Alright, so we have now half a ring. Okay. So the design for this is basically so you can put the figures in here, one on each side of the ring. But what I don't understand is like, okay, we have this and we'll have our first figure sitting here, looking at us, the second one looking that way, out. So it's kind of like, didn't really make any sense to me to have that, because if you display it all together, unless you have it on a turntable such as this, Lazy Susan, then you're not really going to be able to see the figures from the front view. So, I mean, it was pretty cool, but I don't know, it's something I don't think I'll ever be using, especially if I collect 4 figures to put in one ring. But let me go ahead and show you what it looks like when you actually put a figure in it. Okay, so there's Alexa Bliss. And there's Sasha Banks, and you can already see, like, it's a cool concept, but at the same time, it's really not executed well, in my opinion. Even if you were just to have this, I think there's this alone right here individually, maybe out on the sides of each other, would display very nice. Just my opinion. But anyway, that's what comes with the box. Alright guys, so this is a close-up shot of the Sasha Banks figure. You know, I'll start off with head to toe. So there's her face, arms sticking out to the side. As you can see, the rings on her fingers that say legit boss, and I'll pull it, do a close-up. There's her torso, Go down to her legs, her kick pads. It says Sasha Banks, and there's her feet. Okay, I'm gonna rotate this around for y'all so you can get a 360 view of it. Okay, pull out. Okay, so my initial impressions on this figure, guys, it's pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of things I feel that it could be done a lot better, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But I want to say probably the first thing that I notice is, I guess, the portrait. Now, does this look like Sasha Banks to me? Not so much. The only thing that gives it away to me is that the purple hair and the ring attire. But if I were just to look at that face, I wouldn't really see Sasha Banks. That's just my opinion. So, like I said, there's legit, there's the boss. So another thing that I noticed too in her attire, guys, right here, you see the dots. Now, in the box that I just showed you, what I can tell at the best is my knowledge, or I should say the best guess to me is that's actually the prototype for this figure, because one, these dots were not painted on. They actually looked like they were sculpted on her, which made the figure look awesome. Okay. The same thing with the eyebrows. The eyebrows actually look like they were sculpted on there, not just kind of painted on there like these are. Okay, the ring wear itself had different, well, it was the same colors, but they were flipped. So like where you see the orange, the blue with the green, they were flipped backwards. Okay, kind of shoddy right here. Let's see if we can get a close up. Yeah, with the paint, it's not really like too clean. But this is an extreme close-up shot, guys. So if you actually see it from a distance, you probably wouldn't notice. Okay, but as far as the wraps around her arm, those look really good, really cleanly done. Here's her boots, and you can see that scuff mark right there, which is, I don't know, kind of upsetting for me. Right there on his shoes too, you see there's that bleed of the blue that goes into the green. Okay. Gonna rotate a little bit more so we can see the back side. Okay, there's her hair. Hair done was pretty well. There's no shadowing or shading in the hair, just that one color. The thing that gives the hair any kind of shadowing is just the lighting, because of the texture that they actually put on there. There are her trunks right there. They say legit boss. Okay, there they are right there. Backside's done real clean. Okay. So not a lot of big things, guys, but I mean, it was pretty cool. Okay. So there's Sasha Banks. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention, guys, is that these glasses also come with the figure here. As you can see, they say boss on them. Now, one thing I don't like about them is, well, not the glasses themselves, but just how the figure is set up, is that these glasses don't actually link in anywhere. So you just kind of find a place to push them. So there's like slots or slashes in her hair where you kind of put them in the snug. See, there's one end. There's the other one. Their boss. Okay. Another way you can display it is actually putting the glasses on her. So I can do that. Yeah. And me personally, I prefer the glasses on her. If you're familiar with Sasha Banks or wrestling in general, you know that she usually just briefly wears her glasses when she comes out to the ring. Not even to the ring, just her entrance, and she immediately takes them off. Now, what I liked about that look was she just looked like she was just ready for business, ready to do battle. And to me, it just completed the look having those glasses on. So I prefer it if she were to wear those glasses even longer, but yeah, she takes them off. Another thing I forgot to mention, guys, that these figures actually come in an iconic pose. So her pose right now, if you're familiar, obviously she has her leg bent in that way, and her hip over here is popping out. That's a move, like a signature move or a taunt, if you want to call it, that Sasha Banks does a lot. She does it during her entrance and during her ring performance Like I said, it's usually her signature move, taunt, which she actually uses. So, you know, pretty good. All right, and again, her hands are out. There's a close-up shot of it. And yeah, so that's the Sasha Banks figure. Okay, guys, so here is the Alexa Bliss figure. Now, one thing I want to note right off the bat is that this face does not look like Alexa Bliss to me. Honestly, it just doesn't. Same thing with the Sasha Banks. I feel that if it wasn't for just knowing that the ring attire itself and the hair, you know, I really wouldn't figure that that was an Alexa Bliss portrait. But other than that, same thing as Sasha Banks. You know, the face here that I see versus the one on the box. Again, the box looks like it's a prototype, and it looks way better than this face. I think this portrait could have done a lot more. The people who making it could have put a little bit more effort into it and just make it look more like Alexa Bliss. You know, one thing she's known for is wearing very heavy makeup, and this is not showing it. It looks just flat. Okay, but anyway, let's move on. That's just a portrait. So here we go. Okay, there's her ring attire, her gloves, skeleton gloves. It's a cool addition. She's another one. This is what she wears to the ring, but once she gets in the ring, she takes them off. And the pose itself, this she usually does at her ring entrance, same thing as Sasha Banks, but she'll close her fist, and she'll also do this when she does her signature move, which is called Twisted Bliss. Okay. Ring attire is the black and the blue. I feel like this was appropriate because Alexa Bliss did make her debut, her main roster debut in the SmackDown brand. So, okay, there are her shorts. Again, thing, the dots. These are obviously just painted on, but in the box art, it looks like they're sculpted on. There are her kick pads, her boots, just solid black. Paint job on her is actually looking really good as far as I can see for right now. Let's turn it to the back. Okay. Yeah, this jet paint job is done well. I love the pink right here because it's fading in there. You know, it's not just a cut off line. I really like how they fitted the blonde into the pink or vice versa. Okay. There are her hands again. Fingernails painted. I can get a shot of it close up. Yeah, there we go. Now again, this is really close up, guys, but you know, her fingernail paint looks to be overdone. She looks like she just has black tips. Over here, it's a little bit better done. You can see. Let's see if I can get it. There it goes. Yeah, you can see how it's a little bit more cleaner on the left hand than it is the right hand. So yeah, I mean, that's just lack of detail, kind of poor craftsmanship in my opinion, in the paint job at least. But anyway, that's Alexa Bliss. Alright guys, so I just wanted to close out this video with some final thoughts about these two figures. So let me give you my critique on them. So first off, execution. Do I feel that these two figures pop out to a person, a fan, anybody on who they are, what they represent? I feel that they do. Okay, I mean, it's very limited. I mean, it's just a basic simple figure, collectible, so it's really not much I can compare it to other than other figures that are out there which are not really collectibles. They're just more figures, toys, but it's real simple. So with the execution, yeah, I mean, they're cool little figures. I feel that, yeah, they do grasp who the character is. Basically just that iconic pose. So I would have to give the execution on these figures overall about an 8. Okay. Next is craftsmanship. So biggest problem that I have here with the sculpt is really the portraits. So obviously with Alexa, you know, I feel that face does not represent her. I really don't see it at all. The only thing that comes out to me knowing that it's her, it's basically her ring attire and the colors that she has on. Sasha Banks, same thing. The biggest thing is the portrait. Doesn't really scream Sasha Banks to me, but it's more so evident with the Alexa Bliss figure. Now, obviously they're kind of cartoonish characters, so they're not really anatomically correct, so I'm not really going to dock any points on that. But yeah, I feel the portrait is the most important thing, because if you don't see the face on that character, it kind of kills it. So with these, I'm going to give it, I'll give it an 8 as well. Okay. Now going on to paint job. Biggest thing is with Alexa, the problems that I had, this is real nitpicking though, just the fingernails are kind of just dots there. Not really detailed with the fingernails, but her paint is done clean, no bleeding, all the colors are where they're supposed to be. Also, I really like that they gave her a gloss finish, because her ring attire is latex, so it's real shiny, obviously you can see, so I'm glad that they did that. Okay, so my problem with her is the lack of paint, especially in the portrait, because she's known to having that very heavy, thick makeup, and they didn't capture that here. Okay, I think it captures more on the actual box art again, but I feel that that's a prototype. So dock points on that. With Sasha, I feel that the paint is done very well. The colors are absolutely represent her. But my whole thing is just, you know, there's the scuff marks on the leg. Also, there's that that blue and the green where it's not supposed to be. But everything else is done well. So with the paint, I would give that an 8 as well. Okay. Value. Okay. So me personally, I paid $25 a piece for these figures. Now, do I feel that after seeing them, reviewing them, and getting a close look at them, is that a fair price? Honestly, I would feel more comfortable paying between $15 to $20 for each one of them. That's just me. So, you know, I mean, they're small. I know that they're collectibles and they're rare, but to me, that alone doesn't really justify me paying $25 for each one. Okay. What I was going off of was the work on that box art. That box art really got me, but the figures themselves are different. Now, it's not to say that don't get them if you can't get them for that price. I mean, if you like them, hey, get them. You know, it's not something that I regret. I mean, I would just feel more comfortable between that $15 to $20 range. That's just me. So value, I would give it a 7. Okay. And then finally, originality. Now, do I feel that these figures were taken and the artist who made them like took it beyond? Not really. I mean, pretty much, I know it's a collectible and it's pretty much like a simple go-to. We'll go with that character's signature pose, and that's what they did here. So yes, it does grasp the character, but that goes back to the execution. This is about originality. Again, this is just like a simple common sense go-to what you can do with these two characters, and you know, it's not really original, but it's a good go-to. Okay, so I'm not gonna really hate on it. I don't know how else you could really what you could really do with these figures other than put them in their poses. But again, I don't really feel it's too original, but they're so nice. So with originality, I would give it probably a 7. Okay, so my overall score is right here in the bottom. And overall thoughts, yeah, I do like them. I'm pretty sure I'll display them. But other than that, I mean, there's not really much to say more about them. So hey, if you like them, guys, definitely get them. I wouldn't advise paying any more than $25 for them, but hey, to each his own. So they're real nice. Yeah, so that's my review on these two figures. Anyway, I hope you liked it, guys. If you did, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't. Please leave any comments. I'm always open to criticism. And share this video with people you know who would enjoy it. Until next time, guys, thank you.